Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. If you've been planning or talking or working or whatever you've been doing. My name is still Jim Cummings. Hasn't changed since this morning. And I'm going to talk to you about the annual campaign as the heart of development. A couple things I want to make clear, however, about this. That up here on this podium are two things. Bill, I don't know when you're going to give the tools discount. When? Okay, I was going to do it after this. Okay, so Bill's going to have one for each organization. Each organization gets this presentation that I'm going to do on a disc. It's you lost. I'm sorry, third prize, and you get this presentation on a disc. It's in two formats. One is the PowerPoint that I'm actually going to do with narration, so you can walk through it if you have PowerPoint, or if you have the free PowerPoint viewer, you can get online. You can walk through it slide by slide. And the other way is actually this presentation as a movie with narration in Windows Media File, so you can just play it. You know, if you just want to sit at a board meeting and just play it. And also, each organization gets one copy of this handout, which also supports this particular presentation, and a copy of Bill's presentation and the tools disc. So make sure you get all those pieces to take home with you tonight, okay? And it is one apiece for everybody. We're going to talk about something that's a great big secret. That's the annual appeal is the heart of development. And we're going to talk about not just the annual appeal, we're going to talk about the template, if you will, that works for all development efforts. And so we're going to begin that, however, with this secret I was discussing. And this secret is about the facts. Now, as we get into the facts, I want to say a few things first. And one of the things I definitely want you to be clear on is I don't care what anybody tells you, this is not that bad of a time. Now, it might be bad for your own personal pocketbook. I can't promise you anything there. But in terms of the nonprofit world, this is not a bad time to be raising money. I know you don't believe me, but it's not. And we'll talk about why it's not. I'm also going to tell you that there are some things you have to remember. Many of our colleagues, Bill and my colleagues, they spend all their days talking about grants. And you know you can go out tomorrow and spend a week or 2 weeks at a grant writing course, can't you? I can't imagine what they're telling you in 2 weeks, but okay, you want to spend your money, go right ahead. The fact of the matter is grants are not the only funding source, and they shouldn't be the only funding source for any organization, just like special events shouldn't be, and individuals shouldn't be. But in reality, if you're going to look towards really effective funding, always look towards individuals. This is never easy. There's no quick way to get to be a successful nonprofit. I mean, we're birthing a nonprofit in my family right now in honor of my late grandson. And it's tough work, and it's hard. And our big special event got rained out 2 weeks ago, and I can tell you not only I was pretty PO'd and 10,000 bucks to the poor when it was all over. The fact of the matter is it's never easy. But the reality that I know that exists for every nonprofit, exists even in my own life and my own personality, is nobody wants to ask. Nobody likes to ask. People say, oh, yes, no, you don't. I've heard you. What you say is, I hope you'll be generous. I hope I will, too. Your gift will make a difference. I guess it will. Please examine the giving categories. Oh, they're lovely. What I want to hear you say is, can I get a gift of $50 from you? And what are you going to say? Yes? No, I can't do that right now. Okay. There are no recorded fatalities in the asking for support for nonprofit organizations. Tomorrow we're going to do Making the Ask, which is a talk I can't believe I still give because it's so simple. All you guys should have figured this out a long time ago. And yet the reality is it's the one thing people won't do. They won't ask. They'll do anything but ask. And if you asked, you'd find out you'll do great. Now, we've talked about this how many times? And you have to remember that what we said earlier, your customers are just as important as your product. Now, as someone whose heart and soul has been in the nonprofit world for years, I really don't believe that at the base of my stomach. But the fact of the matter is, I believe that in the reality of what makes nonprofits work. that if we treated our donors as well as we possibly could, we would be doing great. Our nonprofit would be doing great because we would have all the support we needed to get things going. So let's talk about the facts. These are the great secrets that everybody seems to keep, and I'm always extraordinarily impressed that these are kept secret, because I know every year the two newspapers a day that I read, the New York Times and the Philadelphia Inquirer, they have it on the front page. I kind of don't understand that. How come I'm the only one that ever sees these? I know nobody reads newspapers anymore, but still, this year I saw the NBC Evening News. It was on CNN, I know that. How come you didn't see them? I don't understand that. So some good news and bad news. The recession has certainly affected the nonprofit world. You know that. But it's not just as bad as you might think. In 2009, giving dropped only 3.6%. Chart that against virtually anything else that's out there, including the unemployment figures. And that's not that bad. Matter of fact, not bad when we start to talk about 300 billion with a B dollars in the United States. Maybe that's pretty good. $304 billion was given away in this country in 2009. Each household accounted for $1,904. Wow. I'm not a big flag waver, but I will tell you, we give away more money in the United States from individuals than the rest of the world gives away combined in every category.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Does that include churches or not?
Yes, sir.
No. Okay.
And we'll break it out for you, too. So all categories fell last year. The year before, churches went up significantly. And when they fell this year, they didn't fall as much as other groups. And if we were to go back to the last 3 recessions where we have good giving histories, we found out that giving actually went down less, percentage-wise, in this recession than it did in those past ones. I don't know why it did that. Now, half of the nonprofits in this country did show a decline in the amount of money they got. But the one thing I know, and I'm not saying this is the only reason, so don't hear that from me. The one thing I do know, though, is when I talk to nonprofit organizations, particularly the ones I was hoping to get a job from this year and who decided not to hire me, I say to them, well, why didn't you hire me? Well, you know, things are really tough out there. We decided not to do our such and such campaign this year because things are so tough. So you decided not to ask for money and now you don't have enough money. Is that what I'm hearing? Yeah. Because things are tough, so we're not going to ask for money. A lot of self-fulfilling prophecies going on out there, folks. I'm not saying that's the only thing that's going on. But what we're hearing in the evening news about the economy has made many organizations, perhaps some of the organizations in this room, afraid to ask. So they didn't. This is a slide I've been using for I don't know how long, but I still like to use it because it has to do with the same facts portion that we're talking about. This is a slide from the Wharton School and a study they did a long time ago. And I think my personal experience, and certainly my wife's experience, my wife is a fundraiser for churches, would tell me that this slide continues to be true. If you look at the large pylon in the center, the red one, that is the personal ask, face-to-face. When someone asks face-to-face for a gift, in 49% of the cases, they get a gift. They may not get the gift they'd like. You may ask for 100 and you only get 50. But the fact is you do get a gift. Dave Phillips is no longer with us. He had to leave us. Why did Dave Phillips have to leave us? Because he has a large donor. He has to go be face-to-face with him. There is no substitute for being face-to-face with a donor. Nothing. Nothing. Now, you have to determine what's an A-list donor for you. An A-list donor might be $100. An A-list donor might be $1,000. Praise God, some of you, an A-list donor might be $100,000. But your A-list people deserve to be asked face-to-face. Next is the, in that purple pylon at 21% is the personal call. Doesn't look like 21%, does it? Oh. I just redid, yes.
Question.
Yeah.
Can you define a little bit maybe say that, what effectiveness is?
Effectiveness means when you ask, you get a response. It's not necessarily the response you want. Monetary response. Not necessarily the response you want, but a response. Personal phone call at 21%. Now, just like with the personal ask at 49%, in both of those cases, this is someone you have some connection with, you know? If you don't know that person, it's called panhandling. It's not nearly as effective, I promise you, you know, the face-to-face ask. But if you do know that person, this is what we're talking about. Now, you don't have to be best buds or sorority sisters, but you do have to have some relationship with them, right? Same thing with the personal call. You have to be somebody when they pick up the phone and they say, hey, Jim, how you been? But you can see it's not only less than half as effective as that personal ask. Now, we're going to spend a great deal of time talking about the personal letter in this annual campaign, and that has a 17% effective rate, which is kind of interesting because we just did in the spring, wasn't it? We did our campaign at Bill Jake's place, and what was our response from our campaign? 17.5%. Almost dead on, okay?